Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faith, and following the wake of Carlee Russell's disappearance, police department has come out to expose her lies. And you guys, I'm super excited as always, and I can't wait for Candace to go into this whole video. And if you guys are yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what Candace has to say in this video.
All right, guys, we are live, and I rarely do this. Once I'm home, I'm usually like, all right, I'm done with politics. I'm not doing anything, but this story has seized me from the very beginning. First and foremost, because it started so ludicrously. Obviously, it was something that seemed very terrifying. A woman named Carlee Russell sees a toddler on the side of the road. She goes out to help him, and then she vanishes. She vanishes, and all that's left behind is her wig, her car keys, her purse, and her car, a running vehicle on the side of the road. So obviously, as a mother, as a person that's just concerned about citizens, if you are any person that's looking at the story, it just seems like such a bold way for somebody to snatch someone off the side of the highway. So we were all waiting with bated breath. And then, of course, something very weird happened. You don't normally see this in an abduction story. Carlee appeared on foot at her parents' house, right? And just to give you a quick background in this, it should not be relevant that she is a Black girl at all. When I first shared this case and said, oh my gosh, this looks crazy, no one cared that she was Black. But of course, because we live in America, everything becomes racialized. And you were instantly condemned if you weren't sharing the story and talking about it. And then as soon as she arrived home and we said, wait a second, like, where's the toddler? Is there a person that's snatching people off the side of the roads? Like, what's the follow-up to the story? You were once again being condemned because, oh my God, that's racist. Like, why don't we just believe Black women? Black women, we should just be happy that she's home. We should just let her rest. And I immediately just started calling out how suspect this case was because, of course, instantly, the public should be informed about the whereabouts of a toddler, a description of a toddler, an Amber Alert regarding the toddler. We should be having some general description of the person that allegedly abducted her off the side of the road. And then I was fully confirmed of my suspicions. For me personally, when Carlee's parents did that weird interview where they said nothing with NBC. Remember, they went on and they were very clammy and just said they were just concerned about her mental well-being and that they could not give any facts of the case because of the investigation. In all these circumstances, I always just use a little bit of common sense. Obviously, you just use common sense and you say, okay, her mother says that she didn't hug her when she first saw her because she was in a shocked state. And so she instead called an ambulance. There's nothing in the world that is going to stop a mother and a father, especially a mother, from hugging her daughter after she's been believed that she's been abducted. I had sensed from the parents' mannerisms in that interview that they did not believe what they were saying, that they knew that something was weird with this. And they were just trying to hold off the public from any further obvious inquiries. So I stayed on this case because you know how I am. Anytime there's a scam running in Black America, I'm usually taking all the bullets for being the voice of common sense, which is just me saying, are we allowed to think anymore as Black Americans? BLM, obvious scam. Carlee Russell, obvious scam. I called out Jussie Smollett from day one. And sometimes it's something as weird as going out in a polar vortex to get a Subway sandwich that just goes, I don't think so. Black people are not going out in a polar vortex to get a Subway sandwich. We've got Uber Eats, we've got apps, we've got Seamless. We just don't need to go out in a polar vortex. It's just not what we do. So we switched back to the story, obviously, after the parents had given this interview, and we were waiting for the police to give some sort of a statement, a general warning to the public, because people were actually fearful that we're living in this small town. Parents that were writing in saying, like, is it safe for my child to even be traveling through Alabama if we have this person, this criminal on the streets? And Carlee's family, boyfriend, everyone was saying it's all about her mental rest. It's all about mental health. Forget the public safety measures. Forget the toddler. We all need to realize that Carlee is safe and sound. I wasn't going for it. But holy update, wow, you guys, I did expect it to be bad. I didn't expect her story to be this bad. I didn't expect it to meet the level of Jussie Smollett absurdity. I didn't expect it to somehow be greater than its absurdity than two Nigerian men wearing MAGA hats, throwing bleach and a noose around somebody's neck while somebody just kept holding the sandwich. Because, like, you know, Subway sandwiches are so good that even when you are about to literally be lynched in the very black city of Chicago, you hold on to the sandwich even when the cops are there, right? Just like, I didn't expect that her story could have possibly topped that. I thought she was a Jussie Smollett, maybe 2.0. No, this girl took Jussie Smollett to the max. Jussie Smollett to the max. Jussie Smollett walked so that Carlee Russel could sprint, okay? That's what happened here. So the police today, in case you missed it on Facebook, I'm going to run through what they told us. They gave a public statement. They answered questions from reporters. And here is what the police chief has informed us. First and foremost, leading up to her disappearance, because her parents made us believe that they were cooperating with police. That is not the case. She gave a brief statement to the police officers after she arrived at her home, and then they just allowed her to rest for a few days, and they kept asking to further prod her narrative, and basically Carlee doesn't want to talk to the police anymore. They're like, we're waiting. Carlee is still dealing with just being home after physically fighting for her life and mentally fighting for her life. She doesn't want to talk to the police about anything. So obviously we know she's lying. But prior to leading to this moment where she saw this naked baby allegedly on the side of the road, a naked toddler wearing a diaper that nobody else saw, the police confirmed nobody else phoned in a toddler, another huge red flag. I will say personally, as a Black person, I'm not going to chase anything or anyone into the woods. I'm not the first to die in a scary movie. I don't want to be Blair Witch Projected, but I'm definitely going to call the police if I see what I believe to be a child. I'm not going to be lured into the woods, but I'm definitely going to do something responsible, like pull over my car and call 911. Well, leading up to this moment where she sees Tyler on the side of the road, Carlee at work that day stole some items from work. Very strange. She stole a dark colored bathrobe as well as a roll of toilet paper and some other items that the police declined to mention. Then she stopped at Target. First, she stopped to pick up some food from a place called the Colonnade, but then she stopped at Target and she picked up some snacks, a granola bar and some Cheez-Its. Now, this is interesting only because when that car was abandoned on the side of the road and Carlee was missing, so were the Cheez-Its and the granola bar, which would mean that when this individual abducted her, they didn't take her purse, they didn't take her keys, they didn't take her running vehicle, they didn't take her money, but they took her Cheez-Its and the granola bar, which, yeah, I guess people like Target. Maybe that's part of the narrative, but I wanted to mention that. So her story is she saw the baby, she pulled over, she called 911. The police officers actually played that 911 call. She describes it as a white male wearing a diaper and a t-shirt, looks to be about 3 or 4 years old. They ask her to stay on the line. The police officers point to the fact that what's weird is that after they traced the cell phone tower, they were able to discern that she moved 6 football fields. She said that she was with the toddler, following the toddler, but in that time period while she was on the phone, she moved 6 football fields. And there aren't many toddlers that are that quick that can just, on this very short phone call, have been running alongside her car and had her following it for 6 football fields. But that's not even the interesting part of this. I'm telling you that that's the suspect part, but not as suspect as this is about to get. So she says that she pulled over her car. This is the statement she gave to police. Okay, just reminding you, statement she gave to police when they arrived at her house and she was in okay condition, where she pulled over her car to assist this toddler. Okay. She gets out of the vehicle. Are you okay? Are you okay? Hello, little toddler. And suddenly a man appears and he says the toddler is fine. And this man has red hair and is balding. So we can at least limit who this could possibly be. Not too many redheads in America. I'm thinking it could be Ed Sheeran. It could be Prince Harry. It might be Donald Trump. But we now know that we're probably dealing with a white male for sure. So they appear out of the woods and they say she's fine. And suddenly the Prince Harry type character grabs her, okay, throws her over her shoulders. She screams, drops her phone. Obviously, this is what they're going to find later. And he runs into the woods with her. And I don't know how he did that. He must have been a strong balding redhead, which leads me to believe Prince Harry maybe not, maybe more of a Donald Trump type guy, and jumps over a fence with her and obviously this toddler as well. She didn't say that she was holding a toddler, said just her, but presumably he has the toddler with him. At this point, she says that he put her into an 18-wheeler, and she heard the voice of a female, but she never saw the female, but she heard the voice of a female, and she also heard the voice of a toddler in this 18-wheeler. And she says that she somehow managed to escape, which is kind of incredible. But then either they or another car, this part wasn't clear in the police explanation, but then a car caught up with her and she got double kidnapped or double abducted. They put her into a car. I feel crazy telling you the story, but this is what happened to Carlee Russel. According to Carlee Russel, they put her into a car and they transported her to a house. So now she's been double abducted. Now she's in this house, and the people in this house get her naked and they blindfold her. But she says this part, it's very important to note this. They did not tie her up when she was in the car. They blindfolded her so she couldn't see where she was going, but they did not tie her up at the wrists because the captor told her that he did not want to leave any impressions on her wrists. So that's quite considerate, I think. If you have abducted someone and you are blindfolding them and then you just turn to them and you're like, you know what? Like, I know this has been a crazy day for you, but I'm not going to tie up your wrists because I don't want to leave any impressions. Like, who wants to have a mark left on their wrist? I thought that was very considerate of the captor, just to note that. Anyways, back to the house that they took her to, just know where she is. She's in a house. And she says that they tell her to take off her clothes. Oh, no, I know what you're thinking. They're going to rape her. They didn't rape her, thankfully. Thank you. She was not raped. She doesn't believe. She doesn't remember much, she says, but they definitely didn't touch her, do anything sexual, but they did, she thinks, take pictures of her. Okay, so the part of her being naked is going to become relevant later. Anyways, they took these pictures of her. And after they took these pictures of her, the female that was in this house, plausibly the one that she hadn't seen earlier, and she has not yet given a description of this female, then fed her crackers with cheese on it. It's interesting because she had a bag of Cheez-Its, so I'm wondering maybe if they took her Cheez-Its and fed her that, but the female fed her crackers with cheese, maybe Cheez-Its. I can't say that, but she said crackers with cheese to the officers, which is, again, quite considerate. They probably thought maybe she wants to know what she wants to buy. She's hungry. She's tired. At that point, she says that the female played with her hair, which is interesting too. Like, maybe she was just curious because this is now her real hair. Because remember, the wig's on the side of the road. So maybe the female was interested in hair care, wanted to know what was going on under the wig. At this point, they then got into the vehicle again. And lo and behold, you guys, she managed to escape again. My God, this woman is amazing. So she's got these adults around her. I don't know where the toddler is anymore, but she escaped again. And she said she immediately ran through the woods. And by golly, by the grace of God, when she exited the woods, she happened to be on her parents' street. So they couldn't have been far. I don't know, maybe just a couple of blocks over. And now I feel like some of you guys might be questioning this narrative a little bit. And it might be because you have a thinking brain. But no, this is what Carlee is saying. She's sticking to the story. And you saw her parents on NBC saying her abductor is out there. Cheez-Its and all, which are probably the ones that she purchased. So this is a story that she gave to police. Now, here's what happened. Because she turned up at this house, her condition, by the way, the police shared that. She turned up with a cut on her lip, a tear in her shirt, and quite mysteriously, ladies and gentlemen, Carlee Russel had $107 cash in her socks. Well, that's very weird because they stripped her naked and they took pictures of her. I don't know where the $107 came from. Maybe, since these seem to be the friendly kind of criminals who don't want to leave impressions on your wrists, who don't want to take your purse or take your money. Maybe they gave her the money for all of her hard work. Who knows? But she said that she had $107 cash in her right sock when the police arrived, which they marked because they thought that that was quite curious. So since she declined to speak further to police, the police began just doing some good old-fashioned police work after this, right? Well, something that they had in their possession was her phone. Carlee maybe didn't think this part through when she was snatching her own wig, because we all know that's what happened. So they decide to take her phone and they involve the Secret Service. You're thinking, what secret? Are the Secret Service, can they find out anything? Well, the Secret Service apparently cannot find out who dropped cocaine at the White House. When it comes to Carlee Russel, they're able to do some good police work. And what they determined by looking at the data on her phone was that Carlee had some very curious Google searches. And by the way, can we just say this once and for all? Please stop Googling the crimes you are about to commit. It just is something that I think all of us need to stop doing, because I can't tell you how many stories I read about criminals Googling the things. How do you cut up a body? You know, I know we, our generation, can't do anything without our phones, but generally speaking, if you did cut up a body and then, you know, your wife goes missing, suddenly the police get your phone, they're going to be able to see the search. But Carlee did not know this, apparently. She's not the brightest criminal in the world. They took a look at her recent Google search history, and here's what they found. On July 11th, now to remind you, Carlee disappeared on July 13th. So why is this relevant? Because people were saying, well, maybe she just had a mental break. And that's where you're going to see the crowd that defended her and said she was abducted and that she faced trauma are going to now shift their focus to like, well, maybe she just had a mental break. Well, no, this shows that this was extremely premeditated, because this first search happened on July 11th, 2 days before Carlee went missing. She searched, do you have to pay for Amber Alerts? The weird search. Amber Alerts are used when people are abducted. Why does she want to pay for one? Is she paying for her own Amber Alert? I don't know, but that is what she Googled or researched on her phone, maybe using a different browser. Then on the actual day that she went missing, 8 hours prior to her missing, she searched how to take money from a register without being caught. Now we know that she took some things from work. I don't know if she took cash. The police didn't mention that, but we at least know where her mindset was, that she was definitely thinking about taking cash. The police then said that there were some searches that they weren't going to convey to the public out of interest of protecting Carlee, that gave them an indication of her mental state at the time. So who knows what that is related to, but they're keeping those close to the chest. They did share that she also searched Birmingham bus station, one-way bus ticket to Nashville. Interesting, because she doesn't live in Nashville, so one-way bus ticket kind of sounds like she was going to run away and maybe restart her life in Nashville. Maybe she was, Ed Sheeran took her in the forest. Maybe she fell in love with him. Ed Sheeran plays some great tunes. He's playing here in a couple of days. I don't know, but that is what she researched. Maybe she knew a redhead was going to take her in the forest. I don't know. We can't be sure, guys, okay? She also, this is probably the most embarrassing search of them all, ladies and gentlemen. She Googled Taken, the movie with Liam Neeson, you know, where he takes his daughter and he's on revenge and you've abducted his daughter and now he's coming for you. Yeah, she researched that on the day that she disappeared. She decided to Google the movie just as a refresher of me, perhaps, of what an abduction might look like. And by the way, this is just lucky because you must believe women. And obviously her story is true. This all really happened to her. There are no questions that you should have about this story unless you just hate women and you're sexist, misogynist, whatever the shtick is today. Lastly, the last thing is that the officer shared that she searched on her phone is maximum age of Amber Alert. So that's what she was curious about. Sounds like maybe she was concerned about issue. I think she wanted to issue her own Amber Alert, because why would you look up maximum age? Or maybe this was relevant to the toddler that she was going to concoct from thin air. I don't know, but these are her search terms. So what I would say, that if you are still holding on to the idea that Carlee Russel is telling some version of the truth, I don't know how else to inform you that you are definitely an idiot. You are definitely an idiot. You might think you're compassionate, but the truth is that you're just not that smart, right? And you just have to look at these situations and use just a little bit of common sense, okay? A little bit of common sense. Watch the way people behave. Watch the way her family clammed up after she returned. Watch how they were saying that she just needs to heal. It's just, this is not the rhetoric that you would say if there was a maniac on the loose with balding red hair, balding orange hair, whatever the color of the hair was, that was just grabbing people outside the street. The common sense aspects of this case was that other people on this busy interstate would have phoned in a naked little baby walking down. Common sense tells you that if you are a person who is into abducting people, that perhaps not on a really busy interstate is that a very good idea. People might have cited that and seen that and seen it's just a very bold way. Also, that person would have had no idea, absolutely no idea, who would have pulled over for the toddler. It could have been 3 jack dudes, like, oh yeah, we're gonna save this toddler. And then this little scrawny redhead balding person comes out, and they would have been like, what's up? No, what's up? And then it just wouldn't have gone the way. It's just no way that people abduct people. They see a little bit, it's quite bold, okay? And so as with this story began falling apart and people were still holding on to it because they wanted to hold on to some vision in which we should just believe all women, this is a perfect reminder of why we don't. This is why we explore the facts and we use our common sense. All right, guys. I don't touch this case, as you have seen. If you are starting from the beginning, I've been covering it on my show all week. You can go to Monday's episode and you can dive into where this all started and how we got here. But for now, I'm going to read some of your comments. Okay. It confirmed my suspicions by the father's actions on the news. The mom definitely runs that household, and the dad just sat there like a good boy, knowing this was a damn lie. Yeah, I totally agree. It was just the way that they were postured in the news. It just seemed like he knew that they were lying. The mother couldn't answer a question straight, and she just was so clammy that it just didn't feel right. This person is writing, now other people won't be believed. I don't believe that at all. I think that they will forever treat a missing person's case with the most care. But people that tell ridiculous lies, obvious lies, I think, yeah, you're inclined not to believe it. It's pretty obvious when someone's lying. And I think snatching your own wig is a new level of crazy. We can't be out here snatching our own wigs. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even wear a wig, but if I did wear a wig, I wouldn't snatch it myself, right? And here's the crazy part. This story isn't over, right? Carlee has to actually answer for this, right? She is going to have to go back and make a statement. The police have now crumbled her entire story. So she's going to have to come clean. She just has to come clean. There's no other way through this. She maybe did this. People are speculating it was over a boyfriend. They were having trouble, that her ex-boyfriend cheated on her, whatever it is. Other people are stating, I cannot state this factually, so this is purely allegedly, according to people in Birmingham that are sharing things, that she dropped out of nursing school or flunked out of nursing school, and that she was on drugs and she was dating some guys. All of these things are plausible, but the truth is that she is so far in it. She is so far in it that the only way out of it is to tell the truth. Okay, I'm going to read some more of your guys' chats up here. Time for a new indictment for Trump as the redhead. Yes, you are correct. That is likely what they are going to do. It makes sense as they just keep indicting him for everything. Another person says she will never come clean until death. That's how these people do. I think she has to. The truth is she's going to spend some time in prison, and she should spend some time in prison, because when you make false police reports, especially ones that become nationwide, not even that, it was global. This case actually became global, and it required people that were outside looking for her. This was a community effort to try to find her. People were scared. I mean, she traumatized an entire nation with this story. She shouldn't get off. But we know Jussie Smollett pretty much spent a couple of days in prison, cried, and he got off. So the system will probably be lenient to her, even though they shouldn't be. So I hope Alabama stays strong. This person says, what if she really meant to say she was in a hotel, ate the Cheez-Its with her side piece? Yeah, I sorry, your comment went away, but yes, I think that's it. This person, Reality Checks, writes, what really sucks is we know a Netflix movie is coming and an endorsement for Cheez-Its. The Cheez-Its, it's a very compelling part of the story, you guys. She purchased some Cheez-Its, and then ironically, she was fed crackers with cheese, and Cheez-Its really are crackers with cheese. Maybe she thought that when she went to the hospital, her thinking there was that they might test her stomach to see what contents were in it. And so she had to come up with the reason that she ate during that period. So she was just like, I took my own Target snacks, because like that's why I went to Target, because I wanted some snacks. So she just kind of came up with this idea that if she came clean about the Cheez-Its, that they wouldn't find out if the rest of her story was completely bogus. Basically, she does not have a really bold criminal mind here. Very, very simple. Yay, Candace live and uncensored. Love it. Yeah, I like being live and uncensored as well. she should be ashamed of herself. She probably isn't, but she will become a laughing stock of her community, and she is going to need to move. So maybe that one-way ticket to Nashville is not a bad idea. But I really do think that I'm really, I would say, at most upset with the parents here. I get loving your child, of course, obviously, but if my child ever did anything like this, I would drag them in front of the news station. Like, I would make them tell the truth. Like, kids need to go through, people need to go through that humiliation in order for them to change, in order for them to really realize what their lives have become. I mean, she looks like she came from a pretty stable household. She did something that is completely wild, and her parents are standing by her, which I think is the worst part of this. Like, standing by someone when she does something this immature, this immoral, this irrational, and quite frankly, this crazy. And again, did not have a mental break. This was something that she planned and that she plotted, and they're going to be able to prove that because, again, of her Google searches, which took place days before. Maybe we're going to find out about a boyfriend who else was involved in this, but the police were definitely holding back in this chat. And I think that in the coming days, it's just going to become an avalanche of information. This person says, how often will you be going live at Candace Owens podcast? We really never go live. We should go live more often, but obviously with YouTube and all the censorship, it's just easier not to go live because I have a bad habit of not biting my tongue. This person is asking, did Carlee have a secret child? I have no idea if Carlee had a secret child. Hopefully this is something that we'll find out in the coming days. This person says, I think it was Prince Harry trying to get material for his next Netflix deal. I'm on the Prince Harry train. That's the conspiracy theory that I am selling to people. This individual says, hello from Canada. I think she should be shown a lesson for the next person that would have thought about doing this. Yes, the courts should be very tough on her. The prosecution should be very tough on her. If she is somehow involved in drugs and this played a piece in it, the best thing for her will be to spend a little bit of time in prison. But I do hope that ultimately the takeaway from this is for people to stop racializing everything and to simply respond to the facts. Because earlier on, people were saying, oh, nobody cares about this case because she's a Black woman. The truth is that a lot of the cases where people go missing, the reason why they don't garner national attention in the same way that if there's a cute girl, and in this case, the pictures of Carlee that were circulated, she looked very nice in the picture, she looked cute, is because they're typically people that you would expect to be in some sort of an ill situation, right? So no one really blinks an eyelash when, unfortunately, if a drug dealer goes missing, if a prostitute goes missing, and these tend to be, a lot of the cases of adults that go missing is that they're involved in something, and so it doesn't garner national attention. But when it's somebody that seems like they have their life together and it's super unusual, the media billed her as a person that was in nursing school, that had a job at a spa, who graduated university. I think they said that she had graduated university. And so it garnered national interest, of course, and then also the drastic measures by which she was allegedly taken that we now know simply are just not true. This person said, very sad. Hi, Kenny, we appreciate you. Oh, actually, I think also my EP is texting me some comments, so I'll get to them right now because they're moving so fast. They're sending them to me. Yo, I swear, criminals in America are lucky that Candace is not law enforcement because she does not let go. I really don't. I'm a bit of a pit bull when it comes to it. And the reason I am a pit bull when it comes to these stories is because of the absurd hatred that I get for pursuing truth. I'm like, guys, I'm not going to let go of this. Like, I'm not letting go of BLM. I just bit their leg like a pit bull and didn't let go for years until people saw that it was fraudulent. It's true. I'm like, no, this is ridiculous. Like, the obvious moral answer is for us to get to the bottom of this. It's so awful that people get duped by these stories over and over again. And typically they're getting duped by some weird emotional angle. Like, who cares what race the person is? Who cares whether it's a gay guy, whether it's a straight person? It's like a criminal is a criminal is a criminal. I don't care at all. So yes, I probably should have been in the CIA. But the truth is I don't trust the Department of Justice, so I wouldn't want to help them. Next comment, this person wrote, ran through the entire neighborhood and didn't stop at the first house. How lucky Carlee that she ran through the woods with $107 in her right pocket and she walked walked, by the way. These officers have footage from a ring camera of the neighbor where she's just walking towards her parents' house. And then as she gets close, she starts running and flailing her arms. So it does seem like she was really putting on about her parents. Okay. This person wrote, Ben Crump won't be chasing her ambulance. If she has enough money, he will. Don't worry. He'll be lecturing us all about how not supporting her, even if she all made it up, is racist. This person says, no joke. I stopped the press conference and was like, oh my God, Candace nailed it again. And bam, you're live. Damn, you're a beast, girl. Thank you. Yeah, I was obsessed with this case. I don't know why. It's just the intricacies of the case. Everything about it was so crazy. I've never heard in the history of any of these cases a person snatching their own wig. I thought Subway sandwich was bad, but she snatched her own wig. So predictions very quickly. In closing, you guys, I think that more information is going to come up. I've told you in past episodes that the streets of Bama are talking. And allegedly there is another guy involved in all of this that she was perhaps with throughout this entire episode. I don't want to be the one to spill the tea, but it's looking like all the other information that they had is lining up. So perhaps there are some facts there about what Carlee was actually up to. People saying that she was at a local hotel. We're going to find out. I don't want to report on that yet until it becomes concrete, but I'm assuming, again, that avalanche is going to come soon. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully we do another live when I get obsessed with the case and I have to become a legal pit bull that is obsessed with truth. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.